Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. Mexico is looking forward to starting talks on the NAFTA agreement now that US President Donald Trump's pick for trade representative has been approved, Mexico's Foreign Secretary for Foreign Affairs said on Friday. Videgaray said Mexico's Finance, Economy and Interior Secretaries will make the trip to the United States Capitol just days after the US Senate confirmed Robert Lighthizer as US Trade Representative, bringing the negotiations a step closer. Months of uncertainty about the fate of NAFTA, which has underpinned regional trade since 1994, has affected growth forecasts in Mexico, shaken the peso and curbed investments. Mexico's Secretary of Economy, Ildefonso Guajardo, said he thought talks would probably start toward the end of August. Guajardo said all three countries must recognize NAFTA's positive contributions before starting. In a sign of the friction in the US-Mexico relationship since US President Donald Trump took office, the Secretary added that Mexico wanted to deepen and grow its ties to China, and that a series of meetings with Chinese officials have been planned to that end through this year. In other headlines, last Friday, General Electric praised Mexico as a big part of its future and said the company is very supportive of the NAFTA agreement that US President Donald Trump has threatened to ditch. GE's Chief Executive Officer Jeff Immelt said on a visit that Mexico had great potential and touted the conglomerate's Mexican operations and the trade deal binding Mexico, Canada and the United States. The GE boss also said trade meant win-win opportunities across North America and that GE wants to see a close relationship between the US and Mexico, noting that GE's exports to the rest of the world from Mexico were worth $3 billion. Earlier this month, Immelt urged the Trump administration to avoid protectionist policies, calling on it to level the playing field for US companies with tax reform, revived export financing, and improved trade agreements. Unlike some US companies, GE has not backed off plans in Mexico, risking broadsides from Trump on Twitter. On Thursday, GE also announced it had won a contract to provide plants producing 2 new gigawatts of power in Mexico and secured a separate $120 million multi-year service deal. In other news, the government of Oaxaca has announced a US $1.2 billion investment in a wind farm by the Japanese conglomerate Mitsubishi Group that will provide a 65 million peso windfall for the municipality of Juchitán. Southern Wind Power will be the largest wind farm in Latin America and in terms of investment and size. Located in the municipalities of Juchitán and El Hispanal in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, the project will consist of 132 high-technology wind turbines with a total capacity of 396 megawatts. In announcing the project last Thursday, Governor Alejandro Murat Hinojosa said local communities would also enjoy benefits such as a 35% reduction in household electrical costs and the installation of 5,242 energy-saving lights in Juchitán, providing a 30% saving to the municipality. Mexico is one of the 3 emerging economies with the highest yearly growth in renewable energy investment, only behind Chile and South Africa, where growth was 329% and 151% respectively. Investment in wind generation of electricity has propelled Mexico onto the list of the 10 countries that recorded the greatest spending on renewable sources of energy. And finally, let's check the markets. The Mexican peso decreased 0.39% to 18.62 from 18.69 in the previous trading session. IPC Mexico increased 0.72% to 49,671 from 49,319 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to mexiconewsnetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.